from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this morning, Governor Greg Abbott is set to sign another big Texas bill into law later today.
And nearly 20 years since the September 11th attacks, the alleged mastermind of the attacks will be joined by 4 co-defendants in pretrial court proceedings today.
Showers and storms in the area for much of our Labor Day afternoon and into the early evening. We expect more of that. And did we hit 100 at all over the long Labor Day weekend? We'll talk to Mike in a moment. Good morning, everybody. It is now Tuesday, and that would be September 7th.
Yeah, happy Tuesday. Welcome back to all of those who had an extended weekend. It was a hot one.
It was a hot one. We were both out yesterday, Mike. I didn't watch TV much this weekend. Were you here yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay. Did we hit 100 over the weekend?
Not over the weekend, yesterday.
Yesterday, we finally did it.
Right before, because those storms were brewing and temperatures kept coming up, and there was that gust front moving on through here. And right before that thing moved through, it barely touched 100 officially. So we've hit that. But according to the records, that's the latest first 100-degree temperature in town.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So after Labor Day.
Yeah, after Labor Day. So
yeah.
It was September 1st. Now, of course, that doesn't take into account the 23 times we never hit 100. So, arguably that is. But anyway, yeah, and there's, I think, some more in store the next couple of days, not necessarily today. So it's fairly tranquil this morning. We're at 74 right now, 75 Port SA. Boy, when those storms moved on through, those outflow boundaries, gust fronts moved on through, temperatures dropped about 15 degrees yesterday at the airport. It was really pleasant when that moved on through. And the humidity right now, not bad. Yes, it is summertime humidity, but it's not a steam bath out there. Everything is on the low side as far as the allergens are concerned. And throughout the rest of the morning, temperatures will be pretty steady. We got fairly good cloud cover right now. It's going to act like a little bit of a blanket. Humid, yeah, not too awfully humid though. And then later on this afternoon, going for 98. I think some extra moisture in the ground is going to prevent us from just hitting this extra couple of degrees. 1 or 2 stray showers, especially out to the west later on this afternoon. But once we really dry out, humidity is going to be dropping down the next couple of days. It'll be more comfortable. That dry air heats up a lot more easily. So I think we're looking at a few more triple digits for the rest of the work week. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Steph?
Thank you, Mike. Lightning is believed to have caused a house fire on the northwest side of town. It happened yesterday evening on Timber Crest, not far from Tuzle Road and Grissom Road. Fire could be seen shooting from the roof, and more than a dozen firefighters were called out to put out the flames. No one was home at the time. It's estimated the lightning strike caused about $150,000 worth of damage to that home.
Right now in the San Antonio area, our COVID-19 positivity rate stands at 10.6%. Our 7-day average showed 1,100 cases per day, and a little more than 1,200 patients are in the hospital. We will air an update on area COVID numbers and a new COVID briefing tonight during our 6 p.m. newscast. Vaccine pop-up clinic set to start back up today in San Antonio after taking a break on Labor Day. We have a full list at KSAT.com. You can also sign up for a free shot at your local pharmacy.
Today, Governor Greg Abbott is expected to sign an election overhaul bill into law. It comes just 1 week after the bill was sent to his desk by the state legislature. The bill adds new restrictions and criminal penalties to the voting process in the state. Its passage follows a dramatic move by Democratic state lawmakers to delay the measure. Other states, including Florida and Georgia, have enacted similar bills, all based on Donald Trump's claims that the 2020 election was fraudulent. Democrats say the bill is meant to benefit Republicans because the restrictions largely impact people who tend to vote for Democrats.
Today, President Joe Biden will survey damage in parts of the Northeast that suffered catastrophic flooding from the remnants of Hurricane Ida. Biden is set to tour Manville, New Jersey, and Queens, New York. Ida's blamed for at least 50 deaths in that region. More than 24 people died in New Jersey. In New York City, 13 people lost their lives, including 11 in Queens. The president says Ida and other storms are making federal spending on infrastructure an urgent priority.
UNICEF and its partners have registered about 300 unaccompanied and separated children from Afghanistan since August 14th. That's according to the company's executive director, Henrietta Fore. The children were separated from their families during the chaotic conditions in and around the Ahmed Karzai International Airport in Kabul during the mass evacuation last month. Some of the children were evacuated to Germany, Qatar, and other countries. In a press release, Ford called on the international communities and governments involved in the Afghan evacuations to make it a priority to cooperate and help with the reunification process of the kids with their families.
Now to the case against the man known as the mastermind of the 9/11 attacks.
A crucial hearing is about to resume in what's being called the longest prosecution in U.S. history. But before the trial begins, some important decisions must be made. ABC's Mona Kassar Abdi has the details.
This morning, as the nation prepares to mourn 20 years since the September 11th attacks, the 5 men believed to have plotted the attacks have yet to stand trial. Among them, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the man described as the principal architect of the 9/11 attacks. He's being tried in a death penalty case along with his nephew and 3 other alleged facilitators.
These are dangerous men with unparalleled knowledge about terrorist networks.
Yesterday marked 15 years since President George W. Bush announced the men's transfer, along with other suspected al-Qaeda members, to the Guantanamo Bay detention facility in Cuba, also known as Gitmo.
It has been necessary to move these individuals to an environment where they can be held secretly, questioned by experts, and when appropriate, prosecuted for terrorist acts.
Today, a pretrial hearing resumes at a specially built courtroom inside Gitmo to determine what evidence the U.S. government must provide to the defense and which laws actually apply in the special court. ABC's Shannon Crawford is there.
It's a war court. However, the Supreme Court has determined that these defendants will get similar protections that they would have if they were being tried in the United States.
Of particular interest are the confessions made by the defendants to the FBI after they were transferred to Gitmo and subjected to so-called enhanced interrogation techniques, including waterboarding, considered by many to be torture. The defense team is seeking to throw out those confessions.
Their lawyers here are arguing that what they said there isn't admissible and what they said in Guantanamo isn't admissible because they were already conditioned to tell their interrogators just what they wanted to hear.
Mona Kassar Abdi, ABC News, New York.
437, 73 degrees.
More big games in high school football this week, plus a look ahead to the Dallas Cowboys going into week 1.
Yeah, they have a huge test in their first game as the NFL season kicks off this week finally. Outside with live cam, we have a little leftover humidity, but notice those clouds and rain really helped lower our temperatures this morning. We'll take 73 over our typical about 80 this time of morning. .440. Good morning. The big game in our big game coverage this Friday night, a battle of 2 early unbeatens, the McCollum Cowboys against the Somerset Bulldogs. Cowboys are coming off back-to-back victories against South San and Austin Navarro, where they scored a combined 91 points while giving up only 13. Somerset Bulldogs coming off arguably the biggest upset to start the high school football season. A 10-6 victory over Southside, holding Nebraska commit Richard Torres to just 163 yards in the air. It gave new head coach Coy Detmer his second win after taking over for his late dad, Sonny Detmer.
We were kind of searching for ourselves as a team, and I think playing against a great team in Southside, we really established some things, and it's going to give us a lot of momentum going into next game. Every week we're 0-0. We got to focus and lock in, and it doesn't matter who we're playing, if they're undefeated or if they haven't won the game, because every team could come surprise us, and we just have to be ready at all times. We just got to focus on Somerset next. They beat Southside. They're a pretty good team, so we just got to step it up and fix all the mistakes we did.
I mean, they're always going to bring it, and we've played them in the past, and it's been tough games, and we just know they're going to bring it, and we got to be ready for that.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
Is finally here, and the Dallas Cowboys will be the first to step onto the field in 2021 when they face the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa this Thursday night. And when they do, they'll be shorthanded after it was announced on Sunday that Pro Bowl lineman Zach Martin will miss the season opener after testing positive for COVID-19. And now the team fears they will lose more players to contact tracing. For Zeke Elliott, who's coming off his worst season as a pro, is looking to make amends. He knows how much Martin means to this team and to him personally.
Zach's the best player on the offense. Most runs, they coming back behind him. Even last year, we were battling some injuries. He moved to right tackle, and he still, excelled at right tackle. So his talent is you can't speak him out of enough.
Houston Texans coach David Culley says Tyrod Taylor will be the starting quarterback when the Texans kick off their season against the Jacksonville Jaguars this Sunday. Deshaun Watson still on the roster but has not played in one preseason game, was being investigated by the Houston Police Department. Coach Culley is confident that Taylor can lead the team.
I have seen him a little bit more going into his 11th year now. I've seen him a little bit more vocal than he has been. He's gone through some things the last 2 years, and I think those experiences have helped him to this point to be able to put him in a position to help lead our football team as he did 3 years ago when I was with him in Buffalo.
All right, Texans Jaguars kick off in Energy Stadium Sunday, set for high noon. And that's a look at morning sports.
A lot of people looking forward to that.
Oh, we're ready, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Time now, 4:43 and 73 degrees. Still ahead, while local animal rescue volunteers spent part of her Labor Day sitting and waiting for a stray dog.
A tragic situation in Colorado as authorities try to figure out how a 6-year-old girl died while on vacation with her family.
And welcome back. It's 4:46. A 6-year-old girl on vacation with her family in Colorado has died after riding an amusement park ride. ABC's Kaylee Hartung has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, amusement park tragedy.
This patient will be a 6-year-old female, and she fell approximately 110 feet.
Authorities investigating how a 6-year-old girl on vacation with her family died while riding this attraction at a Colorado amusement park. The thrill ride opened 4 years ago, bringing national attention to this small family-owned park.
Going with caverns for a party that fell out of the shaft ride. The party's at the bottom of the shaft now. We're still trying to get further.
The little girl was riding the Haunted Mine Drop, a ride the park promotes as the world's first drop ride to go underground, dropping riders 110 feet and reaching 4 Gs of acceleration.
I believe the ride was in operation when the child fell from it.
Park employees began administering first aid until paramedics arrived, and we'll have more details coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Kaylee Hartung, ABC News, Los Angeles.
A local devoted animal rescue volunteer spent part of her Labor Day sitting and waiting for a stray dog that was among more than 24 others taken in by a man in South Bexar County.
2 years after the owner's death, Jesse Degollado tells us why the volunteer hasn't given up looking for that one dog, especially after coming so close to catching him.
It's going to be okay. We're here to help you. Okay?
Mary Euler and the other volunteers were true to their word. The nearly 30 stray dogs that Richard Ewers had taken in before he died of cancer were adopted out by animal rescue groups, all of them except for one elusive runaway.
I just couldn't believe it. Yeah, pretty emotional. Pretty emotional. Okay, he's in the trap. I got him. Oh my God, I got Jack. Oh my God, I got him.
The dog food and carne guisada taco she'd put in the cage worked. She caught Jack over the weekend, ending her 2-year search, or so she thought. While she was on the phone arranging transport, she says someone watching her set out the trap pulled up in an SUV, blocking her view.
Don't know if they wanted to steal the trap. I don't know. But in less than a minute, he was gone.
Luckily, she spotted him again Monday. Jack's still in the area, so Euler says she isn't about to give up.
We promised Mr. Richard that we would rescue all his dogs. And as a rescue volunteer, we follow through.
Here she sits, and here she'll stay, says Mary Euler, as long as she can, until Jack is finally safely captured.
He's got to come back. He has to.
In South Bexar County, Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
Well, here we are Tuesday morning, and our Labor Day ended with showers and quite a few thunderstorms with quite a bit of lightning. We've already reported about that lightning strike that caused a house fire on the northwest side last night.
Yeah, that rain, I don't want to say it came as a surprise, but quite the difference from the heat we had the rest of the weekend.
No doubt about that, Mike Osterhage.
Yeah, we were talking about we were going to be getting some showers and some thunderstorms around the area yesterday afternoon, and it was amazing because by, during mid-afternoon, there was nothing out there. And boy, those things popped up and they really started rearing their ugly heads. And this was a lot of folks what they were seeing, all the lightning strikes and some very heavy rain. And of course, the rain was really spotty. Out at the airport, about just shy of 0.2 of an inch. But then you went west a couple of miles maybe, and 2-3 inches worth of rain. Everything is settled down so far this morning. Speaking of rain, again, most of it was in the northern part of our viewing area. Of course, there were some of those showers down around Atascosa County. Medina County got some fairly decent downpours, but it was those pockets where those heavy thunderstorms popped up here just to the north of Hondo, about 3 inches of rain. These are radar estimates. Blanco, northern Blanco County, about 2.5, close to 3 inches of rain. And then up there down to the north of San Marcos, a little bit closer into town, right around Leon Springs, almost 2.5, close to 3 inches of rain. Same thing around Helotes, and downtown just over about an inch and a half of rain. But then again, there was the airport there, so it were those pockets. It was those pockets of rain that popped up here and there and moved on through the area. But then some folks didn't see much of anything. And of course, right as there was those outflow boundaries, we kept watching those. And when those storms moved on through, just ahead of that, we barely touched 100 for a high temperature yesterday. So we broke that threshold, if you will. And as far as today is concerned, there may be 1 or 2 more showers or thunderstorms out there. A couple of them along the coastal plain, 1 or 2 out to the west. That's pretty much going to be about it. And then after that, that's pretty much going to be it as far as rain chances for the next couple of days, because we have got now the situation building in here where it is just going to be kind of a lid on the atmosphere, pushing down and also heating things up. Quick check of the tropics. Once again, Larry's out there, and boy, it is just a picture perfect kind of a storm out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And again, the Hurricane Center is watching a disturbance here in the Bay of Campeche, but it still is indicating over the next few days that this is going to take a path up to the northeast. So that's not going to have any impact on our weather. There's the high, which is really dominating things. It's off to the west of us enough, and that's what's kept us with the humidity kind of sort of in check. Yesterday it was dropping down somewhat. We were only about the mid 60s for a dew point temperature yesterday. Today it's going to be about the same situation. We will have, like I said, 1 or 2 of those showers, but as this thing continues to build on in here and we dry out a little bit more, very low humidity in the afternoons going in through somewhat today, but especially tomorrow through the end of the work week, that means some really hot temperatures around here. Then that's going to start to kind of taper off a little bit as we go in toward the weekend. 90 at noon today, partly cloudy skies. And then later on this afternoon, 1 or 2 of those stray showers out there, thunderstorm, I think primarily off to the west. 98 for a high temperature. So I think we stay with a little extra ground moisture around just shy of 100, a cloud here or there. But with the air really drying out and a lot of sunshine and the atmosphere pushing down, I think we hit 100 the next couple of days, and then we'll start to kind of ease off with temperatures. And of course, today is Rosh Hashanah.
There you go. All right. And the goal, Mike, is lower 90s during the day and maybe mid to upper 60s at night. So if you don't mind putting in a call or a good word for all of us.
Yes, we'd appreciate that.
It is looking as though next week temperatures should be closer to seasonal normals, lower 90s, maybe some upper 80s around there. But this is going to be just a hot week. Yes, lower humidity, more comfortable in the shade, but
just hot.
See, all we had to do was actually ask nicely.
It worked out.
Yeah, it did. Thank you, Mike.
He's waiting for his payment.
A little grease of the palm here, maybe.
453, 73 degrees. Where's the hand sanitizer?
Coming up next, a preview of a highly anticipated series that focuses on former President Bill Clinton. Plus, the latest Marvel movie breaks another record.
Yeah, it did very well this weekend. Here are your lottery numbers, folks. Pick 3, 793, Fireball 0. Daily 4, 41, 69, Fireball 1.
Cash 5, 4, 7, 11, 23, 26. Texas 2-step, 7, 13, 16, 21. Bonus ball, 11.
A popular actor known for his role in HBO's The Wire has passed away.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
Actor Michael K. Williams is being lovingly remembered. He was found dead Monday in his apartment in Brooklyn. His The Wire co-star Wendell Pierce writing on Twitter that Williams had the ability to give voice to the human condition, portraying the lives of those whose humanity is seldom elevated until he sings their truth. Michael K. Williams is up for an Emmy this month for the HBO series Lovecraft Country. He was 54.
My calls with Monica.
Premiering tonight on FX, the highly anticipated series Impeachment, American Crime Story, looks at the sex scandals and accusations surrounding former President Bill Clinton. But Annalee Ashford, who plays Paula Jones, tells me the series reframes everything you think you know.
We're really focusing on the narrative of the women and the point of view of the women in this story, which was so ignored, overlooked, and taken away from these women during that time in history.
Monica Lewinsky is an executive producer on the series, which premieres tonight on FX. Marvel's Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings shattered the previous Labor Day opening weekend box office record. It tripled the previous champ, 2007's Halloween, at $30 million, Shang-Chi racking up an estimated $90 million over its first 4 days in North America. And happy birthday, Leslie Jones, the comedian, actress, and former Saturday Night Live star, is 54 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
I heard that did so well this weekend that other studios are feeling a little better about it, and they've moved up Venom 2's release by 2 weeks to kind of try to cash into this movie momentum.
And maybe you'll finally get to see Top Gun at some point.
Yeah, by May of 22 now.
Right.
Yeah, that's what happens sometimes. 458-73, it's only been moved like 12 times.
Yes, hopefully no more. Hopefully.
Still ahead on GMSA, we have a preview of President Biden's trip to the Northeast, where he's set to survey damage caused by catastrophic flooding from the remnants of Hurricane Ida.
And do you think more people are watching YouTube or TikTok these days? We're going to have what a new survey says coming up in Tech Bites.
And checking the roads with Trends Guide, Mike is pulling double duty today. You do that, right, Mike?
I do now.
We'll be right back.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
As the death toll from Ida rises, President Biden is set to visit New York and New Jersey. I'm ABC's Elizabeth Schulze with those details coming up.
And here at home, taking a look outside with a live cam, we're at 73 degrees, a little humid, but not as bad as, the upper 70s or even 80. So we'll take that for right now.
Looks fairly clear out there this morning, almost like all the rain washed the air. Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, September 7th.
Thanks for joining us this morning. And yes, we got some rain, which was very, very good after having a very hot weekend.
We're going to talk to Mike Osterhage about both weather and traffic. He's pulling double duty, which requires a short sprint across the studio. And he joins us now in the weather lab. Good morning, Mike.
Yeah, it's funny because all the traffic stuff is over there. What is that, about 30, 40 feet away over there? So anyway, it was great to see the rain yesterday. Some folks didn't get any, but if you did get some, you got a whole bunch. There was some, we got some pictures going to be showing you where some rain gauges about 3+ inches in maybe an hour, hour and a half, something like that. 73 degrees right now, dew points at 71. We do have a lot of clouds out there. The humidity, with the dew point of 71 is not bad. It's fairly tolerable. It is going to be another hot one. We did hit 100 yesterday. Right as that gust front was trying to move on through here, thermometer just barely crept up to it, and then temperatures dropped down a good 10-15 degrees when those thunderstorms moved on through. The aquifer yesterday dropped down 1/10 of a foot, and the allergens, everything is, a whole grocery list of things out there, but everything is definitely on the low side. So yesterday, as you noticed, we had a lot of sunshine, and mid-afternoon there wasn't anything out there, and there was that kind of hazy or milky shade to the sky. Here's what the water vapor imagery shows, and there is some moisture aloft in the atmosphere. So again, it is going to be kind of that milky shade to the sky once we get rid of some of these morning clouds out there. And there's still got this kind of northwesterly flow aloft in the atmosphere. Still going to be a couple little disturbances out there. So 1 or 2 showers still going to be possible, although I think fewer and even further between, and most of those confined out to the west. Warm and humid this morning, and then partly cloudy, hot. Couple of showers, couple of thunderstorms, again, 1 or 2 fewer than yesterday, and the rest of the week sunny, hot, but we will have lower humidity. dry air, and as the ground dries out as well, that's going to allow dry air heats up a lot more easily. It doesn't take as much energy. So therefore, I think we're going to be seeing a few more triple-digit temperatures here in town before the work and school week is over, and then more clouds this weekend. And that's going to hold temperatures down a little bit, and then some rain chances moving in here by maybe the first part of next week. More on that in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, me. What? Guess so. All right, here's what it looks like on TransGuide right now. And as you can see over there, 410 at San Pedro, everything's moving along fairly well. And there is... Well, I didn't want to walk across the shot right there, but I'll just sneak in this way into this shot.
Don't knock it. Don't knock that. Okay.
If I go like that, then I'm like this.
Good job.
But I want to
Mike.
move this little gizmo here, and I want to show you over there at let's see. Yeah, 37 at Houston. Down on the lower levels, there is maybe some construction or something going on there, but the main lanes of 37, everything's moving along pretty good. I've never been in this shot before.
Yeah.
I've always just kind of done this, the voice behind the curtain type things.
Well,
Yes.
Well, you look just as handsome over there as you do in the weather lab.
You are the Mike of all trades.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank you, Mike. We'll talk to you in a minute, okay? President Biden will travel to New York and New Jersey today to see the aftermath of Hurricane Ida.
The death toll from the storm has now climbed to at least 69 across 8 states. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has the latest from Washington.
This morning, as Ida's death toll rises, President Biden is set to visit hard-hit New York and New Jersey to see the storm's devastation. The president approving disaster declarations in both states, freeing up federal funds to help with the massive cleanup effort.
The major disaster declaration means individuals are now eligible for money in those counties.
Communities still reeling after heartbreaking scenes like these. NYPD body camera footage shows officers unable to save a family in Queens from a flooding basement. In New Jersey, Richard Peak was stranded in rising floodwaters.
There goes a tree down the river, look at that.
His friend braving the storm.
I know that's him.
Coming to the rescue in a tractor.
I still don't feel like a hero. I just figured I'd help my friend out.
In New Orleans, another flash flood watch in effect, while power has been restored to 2/3 of the city. And the mayor is now blaming the archdiocese, which owns several senior living facilities in New Orleans, after 5 elderly residents died in what she calls deplorable conditions.
What we found was unacceptable, and accountability will be across the board.
As communities from the Gulf Coast to the Northeast look to rebuild homes and businesses, those reconstruction efforts could take a little bit more time and be more expensive because of supply and labor shortages from the pandemic. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
Back here at home, a first responder who served the city of Austin is being remembered right here in the Alamo City. Firefighter Rodney Kelly passed away after contracting the coronavirus while on the job. His funeral is set for today at 12:30 at Coker United Methodist Church. Kelly spent 15 days on a ventilator before he passed away. He was with Austin Fire for 20 years. Last night, his visitation was held at a Porter Loring mortuary here in San Antonio. Firefighters from both Austin and San Antonio were all in attendance. One of the 13 U.S. service members killed during the withdrawal from Afghanistan is a South Texas native and Marine, Lance Corporal David Lee Espinoza. The 20-year-old is from Laredo. He will lie in state at the Joe Jackson North Funeral Chapels in Laredo from 8 a.m. to midnight Sunday. A funeral mass will take place the next day on September 13th.
And time now is 5:08 and it's about 73 degrees out there.
Still ahead, do you watch more TikTok or YouTube? We'll tell you which one is actually more popular right now.
Also next, some good news for San Antonio. We're going to tell you how much tourism has rebounded over the past year or so.
We hope by a significant amount. Outside with live cam, significant rain in our area yesterday to round out the Labor Day weekend. Any more rain in the forecast? And what about a break from the heat? We'll look ahead to the remainder of the work week coming up a little bit later in the newscast. For many, it's back to school, back to the daily grind as the unofficial end of the summer travel season is here.
But there's some good news. San Antonio businesses that depend on tourism say they're pleasantly surprised to see a good resurgence in people staying at hotels this year. Visit San Antonio launched an aggressive campaign to bring in tourists from within a day's drive, and it seems it may have worked. Numbers show 74% hotel occupancy rate, which is only about 3.5 points shy of the July 2019 numbers. Leisure industries like Phillips Entertainment say staffing was an issue, but they managed to raise wages and stayed fully staffed. The goal is that the positive trend will continue into the holidays.
The leisure side of the industry has responded really pretty strongly, and now we're anticipating conventions and meetings and business travel begin to come back as well this fall.
In terms of mandatory masks that the hotel staff have and different things that their safety protocol, we felt comfortable at least being in that facility and trying to keep all of our attendees safe.
Visitors from out of state and country say the city's done a good job of promoting individual safety. There are 23 conferences scheduled for the rest of the year, potentially bringing in 100,000 visitors to San Antonio. Visit San Antonio says about 80% of the annual visitors are from all over the state of Texas.
And time now, it's 5:13 and it's about 73 degrees out there.
Still ahead, the NASA Perseverance rover has collected its first ever Mars rock sample.
Also next, how Tinder is trying to hook you up on a date during work hours.
Why hide your skin if Dupixent has your moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis under control?
Hide our skin, not us.
Because Dupixent targets a root cause of eczema, it helps heal your skin from within, keeping you one step ahead of it. And for kids ages 6 and up, that means clearer skin and noticeably less itch.
Hide my skin? Not me.
By helping to control eczema with Dupixent, you can change how their skin looks and feels. And that's the kind of change you notice.
Hide my skin? Not me.
Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, or a parasitic infection. If you take asthma medicines, don't change or stop them without talking to your doctor. When you help heal your skin from within, you can show more with less eczema. Talk to your child's eczema specialist about Dupixent, a breakthrough eczema treatment.
5:16, welcome back. This may not surprise you. New survey shows app users are spending more time on TikTok than YouTube. ABC's Monokosar Abdi has details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, TikTok has overtaken YouTube when it comes to average watch time by users. New data shows app users in the U.S. and the U.K. are now spending more time on TikTok than on YouTube. But YouTube still holds the top spot for overall time spent because it has more users, 2 billion, compared to TikTok's 700 million. Another first for NASA's Perseverance rover. It's now collected the first Martian rock sample. The piece is a little bit thicker than a pencil. The sample is now being stored in an airtight titanium tube, which could be collected by another Martian lander in the future. Finally, in anticipation of workers returning to the office, Tinder has relaunched Work Mode. It allows users to search for a partner without colleagues or the boss finding out. But remember, Work Mode does not hide Tinder from the software that companies use to monitor activity. Those are your Tech Bites.
We turn to one man who can handle pretty much the rest of this newscast right now.
That's right, Mike. You were very busy today doing traffic and weather.
At least not too busy, though, as far as anything really going on the highways and byways. So that's good news for right now. Over there, 37 to Houston, and maybe a little bit of construction down there on the surface streets, but it's not affecting the main lanes of I-37 at all. Elsewhere, 10 at Proban. Oh, no problems there. 90 at Nogalitos, 37 at Pecan Valley, and then also 1604 over there at Marbach. Everything is moving along nice and smoothly. Hopefully, it will stay that way.
Your shoulder made a nice cameo there.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
This one? Okay.
Yeah, that one. That one.
Oops.
You're
That's
fine.
okay. And now the rest of you, which is boom.
Yay! This is better. The complete Mike.
Did you get a lot of rain yesterday?
We did.
It kind of danced around me, but we had a slow, steady rain when things started to fizzle down, but nothing like that, Mike.
Yeah. My house, we were getting a whole bunch of rain and some of those thunderstorms as well. So we need to have those boxes flip-flop because we're looking at
Yeah.
You notice that? Anyway.
I need to look at you. I can't look the other way and talk to you.
Anyway, over there at San Antonio, boy, 3 inches in about an hour and a half. That's coming down in buckets. And a lot of folks saw that yesterday. But again, most everybody within earshot did not see rain yesterday. There's going to be a couple of more showers and thunderstorms that'll be popping up later on this afternoon. Yes, we did hit 100 officially out there at the airport right before. Kept watching, as I was saying all morning long, those gust fronts move on through and the clouds started to thicken up, but it just barely touched that, and then temperatures dropped down significantly. 102 Pleasanton, 106 yesterday at Cotulla, and today I think we're down a couple of notches just because still a few clouds out there and then the moisture in the ground, and as that tries to evaporate, that's going to use up some of the energy, if you will. So a little more humidity, and so with that moisture in the ground, that's going to take more energy to heat up, which is why we'll stay just below 100 today. But still, we're going to be about 6 degrees above the normal high temperature, which is 92 right now. The normal low is 72. We're much closer to that this morning, but we will have somewhat of a heat index again. Not anything just way off the charts, although obviously a lot more of a heat index down there around Cotulla, Beeville, as well as Victoria. So dew point temperatures are tolerable this morning. It's humid out there, not just steam bath kind of humidity. And later on this afternoon, we'll keep a bit of humidity around here. Then tomorrow, same situation, but by the afternoon, the dew point temperatures really drop off. And so it's going to be very comfortable in the afternoon, especially in the shade tomorrow. And doesn't take as much energy to heat up dry air as it does moist air, so that's really going to allow temperatures to just kind of skyrocket throughout the day. So looking at more triple-digit temperatures here in town tomorrow, as well as on Thursday, and really close to it on Friday. And then in beyond that, we are going to be seeing more clouds for the weekend, and temperatures will start to drop down somewhat. So here's the computer model. Again, this is that broad brush computer model. It's got a few showers out there. Tomorrow, nothing. Thursday, nothing, same thing. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then we start to see a few more clouds and even a couple of more showers, especially down there along the coast. And there is a disturbance which is going to try and move into the south of us to give us a chance of rain around here by Monday, which will, and again, with the cloud cover, is going to help to hold temperatures down going into the latter part of the weekend, especially in the first part of next week. 90 at noon today, partly cloudy skies, and then a high temperature. It gets up to 98. Still going to be a hot one out there. A stray shower or two, just one or two of them out there. Don't get your hopes up for that. 100 tomorrow, 100 Thursday, going for 99 on Friday. It will be less humid than those next 3 days especially, and temperatures should be dropping down by the first part of next week.
I'm having deja vu. If you've ever seen Tom Cruise's War of the Worlds, the aliens arrive in wicked storms, and it looks purple, almost exactly like your icon right here.
Well,
so
let's hope that doesn't happen next week.
if you're predicting more than storms, like some sort of imminent invasion, let us know, okay?
I haven't seen anything yet, but hey,
good.
You never know.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
it is 2021, so 522, about 73 degrees.
You got a point there.
Yes. Up next in your morning spotlight, an update on actor Stanley Tucci's cancer scare. Plus, Sony moves the premiere date of the next Venom movie yet again.
Oh, we were just talking about that.
There you go.
And lottery numbers, pick 3, 793, Fireball 0. Your daily 4 numbers, 4169, Fireball 1.
Cash 5, 4, 7, 11, 23, 26. And your Texas two-step, 7, 13, 16, 21, bonus ball 11. Good luck.
The newest Venom movie gets an updated premiere date, plus Oscar-nominated actor Stanley Tucci has been battling cancer.
Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
You need to come out right now. I will let you eat everybody! Promise! I promise! Oh, yeah!
Venom, Let There Be Carnage can't sit still. Last month, Columbia Pictures moved the film from September 24th to October 15th. Now its release is moving up 2 weeks to October 1st, avoiding a horror sequel showdown with Universal's Halloween Kills. Not even Venom wants to take on Michael Myers.
Well, you just have to invest yourself.
Stanley Tucci has revealed he had cancer about 3 years ago. The Oscar-nominated actor tells Virgin Atlantic's In-Flight magazine he endured months of high-dose radiation and chemotherapy for a tumor at the base of his tongue. Tucci says the treatment was successful and the cancer is unlikely to return.
It's never the same as I'm trying to say.
Michael K. Williams has died. A law enforcement official says the award-winning actor, best known for TV's The Wire, was found dead in his New York apartment with drug paraphernalia nearby. Williams had spoken in the past about his struggles with substance abuse. He'd most recently appeared in the TV series Lovecraft Country and F is for Family. Michael K. Williams was 54. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And time now is 5:26 and about 73 degrees out there.
Still ahead, we have a preview of President Biden's trip to the Northeast U.S. today, where he'll survey damage caused by Ida.
And if you're trying to get a new car, it may be a little tough right now. So would it be better or easier to lease one? Coming up, we're going to check out the good and the bad when it comes to leasing.
And details on a new study looks at how work productivity is affected if a robot is staring at you.
Sorry, that's creepy. And have you been thinking about making a career change? Ahead on GMSA at 6, we're going to give you the rundown of things you want to consider before you make that decision.
Making headlines this morning in the wake of damage caused by Ida. President Biden heads to the Northeast today to check out the damage.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we're starting today at 73 degrees and expecting temperatures to rise just a little bit. But boy, did we get some rain yesterday.
Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, September 7th.
Hope you had a great weekend or a great Monday for those of you who had the extended weekend. We did.
Yes, and it was stormy late yesterday. It's like we had a tale of 2 days, didn't we?
Yes.
Bright and sunny and hot, and then everything changed.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, it was, nothing out there throughout most all of the day, and then going into the mid-afternoon. Temperatures did hit 100 officially out there at the airport, and that's right before those storms started working their way on in here. And boy, yeah, some folks got a whole bunch of rain. Other folks didn't get anything. Out at the airport, it was maybe 0.2 of an inch, but then you go over on the northwest side around Leon Springs, about 2, almost 3 inches of rain. Right now we're at 73. The average normal low temperature is 72, so we're in the ballpark of normal. 71 is a dew point, which means relative to that number, there's a lot of humidity, but that's tolerable. It's not like it's, just fog up your glasses kind of humidity out there right now. Heat index, not much. So humidity is low enough to where we don't have too much of a heat index to deal with as of right now. But then later on this afternoon, there will be somewhat of that. Everything is on the low side as far as the allergens. And throughout the day, we're going to make it up to 90 at noon, 98 high temperature today. 1 or 2 stray showers are possible. Very few and far between. I think even fewer than what we had around here yesterday. Excuse me. Most of us are just going to be seeing sunshine with a couple of clouds around here. Temperatures will stay just shy of 100, but that's not going to be the situation in the next couple of days. More on that in just a few minutes. Traffic Authority right now, if you're getting ready to hit the highways and byways, we've got not really much going on out there as of right now. 1604 over at Marbach. Everything is moving along fairly well. A couple other spots around town. 281 at Hildebrand, both directions. Everyone is obeying all the traffic laws very nicely. 10 at Probant, and then over there at 90 at Nogalitos. And looking around some of the other cameras, not seeing anything go on. So hopefully everybody has a smooth commute this morning.
Thank you, Mike. Natalie, breaking news. A middle of the night knock on her door has led a woman to start her day in a hospital. She told San Antonio police she was shot soon after opening her door.
Police have an active investigation going on in the 1500 block of Upland Road. Katrina Weber is there with a live report. And Katrina, what can you tell us about it?
Well, it's a woman in her 20s who was shot in her stomach. She was rushed to the hospital. Police say she was alert and talking when they found her. Now, this is all going on, in a second-floor apartment here at the Antioch Village Apartments. This is a 1500 block of Upland, just off of East Houston. Police have been working in that second-floor apartment, collecting evidence. They tell us that the woman was in there with her young son, her child, when someone knocked on her door after 4 o'clock this morning. She opened the door and she says 2 or 3 women then rushed in and one of them shot her soon after barging into her apartment. The child was not hurt. He is in police custody right now. We don't know if the child witnessed any of this. I asked that question of police and they say they still don't know that. They don't know if the child was in the same room or perhaps sleeping in another room. But this, again, all going on in that second floor apartment. We want to zoom away from that apartment because I do see the child walking into frame. We don't want to put him on camera. But that woman at the hospital, alert and talking when she was taken there after being shot in the stomach. Reporting live on the east side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. Communities from the Gulf Coast all the way through the Northeast still reeling from the impact of Hurricane Ida and its remnants.
President Biden traveled south last week, visiting Louisiana to examine the destruction there. Today, he heads north, touring the devastation in New York and New Jersey. CNN's Reed Binion reports.
President Joe Biden on Tuesday set to tour the devastation that Hurricane Ida's remnants left in the Northeast. The president visiting hard-hit communities in New York and New Jersey after having signed major disaster declarations for parts of those states. Biden approved federal disaster relief for 5 New York counties and 6 in New Jersey to help families and businesses repair and rebuild. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy says he plans to ask the president to provide federal disaster relief to more counties.
Yet there were 15 other counties in New Jersey, and we're in there fighting on behalf of any of those other counties that were impacted.
The president's Tuesday trip will come a day after the head of FEMA also toured the destruction in the Northeast.
Hurricane Ida, she spread destruction across 9 states and 5 regions, and it ended right here. And what we saw today was absolutely heartbreaking, the amount of damage and destruction that these families have experienced.
Also surveying the damage in New York Monday were Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Senator Chuck Schumer, both of whom represent New York.
This is a personal disaster, a major disaster, and we need the insurance companies to join with the federal, city, and state governments.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is set to testify before a Senate committee about the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. According to the Senate Foreign Relations Committee's website, Blinken will appear before the committee Tuesday, September 14th. Blinken is the only witness currently scheduled for that hearing. The U.S. has drawn international criticism over the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan, and still the United States' work in Afghanistan is not over. The White House says there are still roughly 100 U.S. citizens in Afghanistan, and officials are still working to get them out.
In Florida, a man accused of killing 4 people, including an infant and its mother, is being held in jail without bond. Officials say 33-year-old Brian Riley is facing 4 counts of first-degree murder and several other charges. During the shootings, deputies say he wore full-body armor and engaged in a firefight with law enforcement who responded to the scene. Riley surrendered after being wounded by deputies. The only survivor in the mass shooting was an 11-year-old girl. Investigators say Riley is a former Marine sharpshooter who served in Iraq and Afghanistan before being honorably discharged. He had no known connection to the victims.
The so-called teacher-in-chief returns to the classroom today. The Washington Post reports that First Lady Jill Biden will begin teaching in person at the Alexandria campus of Northern Virginia Community College. Till now, she's been teaching remotely during the pandemic. This semester, she'll spend 2 days a week for 13 weeks teaching English classes in a hybrid format. No other First Lady of the United States has held a full-time job outside of her duties as First Lady. She's also the second lady to continue a professional career while her spouse served as vice president. She joined the college's faculty in 2009 when Joe Biden became vice president. Joe Biden, who is 70 years old, has been a teacher since 1976.
Staying with her craft. Time now is 5:37 and about 73 degrees out there.
Should you buy or lease that next car? We have the top things you need to consider before deciding.
Also next, from cell phones to outdoor grills, why now might be the best time to buy some new toys thanks to some post-Labor Day sales.
Outside with LICAM this morning, the clouds and the rain really helped last night. We're down to 73 right now. That's not too bad to start out the rest of the work week, a short work week for most of us. You're watching GMSA. 5:40 as summer winds down. There's something to look forward to this September. End of season sales.
CNN's Jen Sullivan has some of the best discounted items to get your hands on this month.
Labor Day marks the unofficial end of summer, but also a great month to snag some amazing deals.
According to Consumer Reports, now is a great time to get items to improve your home. Great news if you love to host weekend football parties. You can score big on outdoor grills and TVs right now. And keep that yard looking nice for your guests with discounts on lawnmowers, leaf blowers, and even chainsaws. Consumer Reports indicates right now is also a great time to upgrade your kitchen before those holiday meals. Major household appliances typically drop in price in September. But beware, the publication says there could be fewer discounts on these larger pieces this year due to COVID-related supply chain issues. Finally, if you're looking for a new cell phone, now might be a good time. And if the reports are true, Apple could drop the iPhone 13 this month, making all older models cheaper. No matter what you're after, it's never too early to get those holiday gifts or stock up for next summer. For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
542, about 73 degrees.
With prices for vehicles going crazy right now, should you buy or lease your next car? We're going to take a look at the pros and the cons next. And welcome back. It's 5:44. In your morning consumer headlines, there may be no end in sight for now when it comes to shipping delays of popular items. Part of the problem with the world supply chain is ports that are packed to the brim. Experts say that likely won't get better anytime soon. Leaders of busy U.S. ports tell the Wall Street Journal that the congestion will likely last deep into next year. Hundreds of thousands of shipping containers are now stuck at ports or still sitting on ships.
Another shift driven by COVID pandemic, more companies making more of a push into automation. USA Today says, for example, some Arby's restaurants now using AI to take orders. The main objective is to save money and reduce the chance of COVID exposure. But experts worry it could start to wipe out lower skilled jobs.
A new study suggests interacting with robots can be unsettling for humans, and it's all about the robot's gaze. The Italian Institute of Technology studied what happens when people interact with a human-like robot. They found even when the robot was friendly and playing a game, people were uncomfortable when the machine looked right at them. Researchers say the mutual gaze interrupted neural pathways in the brain that caused people to delay making decisions, which means working with a robot could interfere with people's job performance.
Interesting. With new car prices sky high and the computer chip shortage making some models hard to get, now may be a better time to lease a vehicle.
Max Massey has what you need to know before going to the dealership.
Should you buy new, used, or lease? There's advantages and disadvantages to every option. But when does leasing make sense? Personal finance website Kiplinger recently offered tips on how to determine whether to buy or lease a new car. And there's plenty to consider before you make that decision. First, figure out how many miles you drive in every given year. A standard lease gives you about 10,000 miles a year. You can buy more miles, but that's going to bump up your monthly payment. Or you could choose to pay for the extra miles when you turn the car in at the end of the lease. Next, how long do you usually keep a vehicle? If you like a new car every few years, leasing could be the only option. If you hold on to vehicles for a long time, purchasing may make more sense.
You'll also want to consider insurance. Leases can lead to higher insurance payments since you have to protect yourself as well as the leasing company. Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
547.
Let's go ahead and check in with Mike to see how this hour.
It's still looking good out there on all the TransGuide cameras. And just take a little tour around town here. 410 at San Pedro. Everything's moving along very smoothly there. 90 at Montgomery. And whoop, there's 410 at San Pedro again. 90 at Nogalitos. Everything's moving along very well there. Same thing, 37 Pecan Valley. A couple more quick stops. 1604 at Marbach and 37 at Houston. No problems whatsoever. The morning is still young, though, as folks start to get into the morning commute here. So,
Mike Osterhage?
Yes. We're looking the wrong way to look at each other.
Look at this way. I'll just look straight ahead. 11 years ago on this date.
All right, you were telling me in this commercial. What's going on?
We were preparing for Tropical Storm Hermine. You were talking about inland tropical storm wind warnings. And about noon, the eye wall was passing right over San Antonio.
Okay, now I remember that. Yes, and it kept, and as sometimes is the case with tropical systems when they make land, and in the outer bands of it, it will just spin up little tornadoes. And I remember during the noon show, there were,
back-to-back warnings.
Yeah, tornado warnings and just little tiny spin-ups from this, but enough to prompt those warnings.
September 7th, 2010.
Oh, yes, I do remember that. Thank you for that one. All right, yesterday, a little too close for comfort. And anytime there's any thunderstorms, I know sometimes folks like to, open up the door and watch the rain and watch the lightning and thunder, but very dangerous situation. Just stay in your house, look out through the window. Don't be outside with any lightning strikes. And even after a storm has passed, still, you're kind of under the gun for that as far as lightning. So it's very, very dangerous. Just be inside and take a look at it. Don't go outside to even take any videos or anything like that. Tranquil morning right now. All the rain has ended. We did hit 100 yesterday, the first official 100-degree reading in town, and that now puts it as the latest first 100-degree day. That had been the 1st of September, the latest we've ever hit 100, or for the first time in a season. Now, of course, there have been 23 times when we did not hit triple digits, the last being 2007. And even looking back at some of the records, most of if you are old enough to remember this, the 70s, the decade of the 70s, there were about 5-6 years there didn't even hit 100 throughout the mid-70s. All right, going back about 12 hours, those showers and thunderstorms. Again, mid-afternoon, there was nothing, but then late afternoon, all of a sudden, those things started to pop up, and boy, they packed a punch. A lot of cloud-to-ground lightning, as well as a lot of very heavy rain. Some folks picked up even about 2-3 inches of rain in the course of an hour and a half or so. Dew points this week are going to be, for the most part, on the lower side. We'll have a little bit of a roller coaster action here, but with these much lower dew points, obviously it's going to be lower humidity. We'll have more comfortable temperatures in the afternoon, also, or more comfortable feeling in the afternoon in the shade. However, with the drier air, it does have a little bit of downside because it doesn't take as much energy to heat up dry air. So therefore, temperatures go up a lot more easily. So we are going to be looking at some more triple-digit readings over the next couple of days. A couple of showers are still possible today, down here along the coastal plain, of course, and then 1 or 2 of them kind of scattered about later on this afternoon. I think very few and far between. Most of us, again, won't see any rain as far as this afternoon. And then after that, that's pretty much it until right now it's looking like perhaps late Sunday into Monday of next week. 90 today at noon. Partly cloudy skies. High temperature makes it up to 98. So I think with the extra moisture in the ground from some of the rain yesterday, that'll keep us just below 100. It'll feel like it though, and 1 or 2 of those stray showers out there. Then we're looking at chalking up a couple of more triple digits the next few days. Lower humidity, so more comfortable in the afternoon. And over the weekend, we'll start to see a few more clouds, slightly lower temperatures, and some rain chances. Maybe late Sunday, more likely into Monday.
We will power through those triple digits.
Your mic wasn't on.
Oh, it was.
Speak now.
Oh, speak now?
No.
Okay, we'll power through it.
Are you?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it was?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
yeah.
my thing's not working.
You guys are cute this morning. 5:51, about 73 degrees.
Star Trek marks its 55th anniversary tomorrow, and the man known as Captain James T. Kirk is talking about the big milestone. We're going to hear from William Shatner next.
He prefers the William Shatner.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Next time.
Pick 3 numbers, 793 Fireball 0. Daily 4 numbers, 4169 Fireball 1.
Cash 5, 4, 7, 11, 23, 26, and your text is 2-step 7, 13, 16, 21, bonus ball 11. Good luck.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, as millions of Americans go back to work and back to school, there are fears about another surge in COVID cases after the busy holiday weekend of travel. Some hospitals already at the breaking point. We're going to get into all parts of that story right here on GMA.
The invader power! A few shots, son! Not enough against their shields. The base is stubborn.
Star Trek is celebrating its 55th anniversary. Even after all that time and countless light years of space travel, William Shatner is surprised by the impact of his portrayal of Captain James T. Kirk.
If you're asking me how I feel about this Captain Kirk character, all the dolls and the people and the careers that they say they modeled on it, It's awesome. It's a point of like disbelief.
An alien object of unbelievable destructive power is less than 3 days away from this planet.
The first Star Trek that I was on was canceled after 3 years. So we had some wonderful shows. We had some wonderful writers. So we had these great television shows. So it canceled. And 6 years later, after a lot of, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, we're going to make a big motion picture. And we got Robert Wise, my God, the editor of Orson Welles.
Get us back in impulse power, full reverse.
So it was a big deal. Big deal. We're now in the big time.
We're going to attempt time travel. Sulu, take us home.
Coinciding with the anniversary is the release of the original 4 Star Trek films in 4K resolution for the first time.
You're from outer space.
No, I'm from Iowa. I only work in outer space.
Warping out in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
KSAT 12 is getting ready to launch a new viewer-driven online newscast. KSAT 12 News Now starts tomorrow at 11 a.m. Alicia Pereira and RJ Marquez will bring you the biggest news of the day. You can stream it live on KSAT.com, KSAT 12's Facebook page, the KSAT TV app, and on devices like Roku and Fire Stick. Good luck, guys. Still ahead on GMSA at 6, Hollywood mourning the loss of another famed actor. We'll take a look at the life and legacy of Michael K. Williams. TransGuide right now, we've seen light traffic all morning, but the flare line is out at I-10 and Huebner. We'll check and see what's going on out there. Mike Ostrage pulling double duty today. Weather and traffic, more from him coming up at the top of the hour. You're watching GMSA on this Tuesday, September 7th.
Trouble barges in on a woman in the middle of the night. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. That woman told police she was shot by an intruder. I'll tell you more about it.
As the death toll from Ida rises, President Biden is set to visit New York and New Jersey. I'm ABC's Elizabeth Schulze with those details coming up.
A massive fire breaks out at a paint factory in Argentina. We'll tell you if anyone was hurt.
And taking a look outside with a live cam, pretty dark shot out there. It's 72 degrees and we are expecting things to heat up for the rest of the week.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And a good morning to you. Hope you had an awesome Labor Day weekend. It is Tuesday, September 7th.
Thanks for joining us this morning, and I hope you enjoyed the rain yesterday evening. I didn't want to say it came as a surprise, but it was definitely different than what we experienced all weekend long.
And a welcome relief from what Mike says was our first triple-digit day of the summer.
Yeah, we kept, it was so blazing hot throughout the day, and then all of a sudden those storms started popping up there. The clouds moved in. It's like, what's going to happen with these temperatures? And right before, kept watching. And great thing, too, if you don't have that phone app, because you can get radar on it, the KSAT weather app, and it's great because you could watch those outflow boundaries move in. And right. It's like, is it going to come? Is it going to come? And just before that one moved through there, we popped up to 100 degrees. And then, yeah, some folks got a ton of rain yesterday, and a lot of folks didn't see anything as far as any rain. But I guess we will do traffic right now. We're going to see over there at 10 at Huebner, there was one emergency vehicle that left just a couple of moments ago and really not seen anything as far as what's going on here, but that's just right there. Looks either along the right-hand lane and or just the shoulder of the road. So it's not causing any problems really as far as traffic is concerned. And then elsewhere, 410 San Pedro moving along pretty well, and 90 at Montgomery, everything is moving along very well over there at 1604 at Bandera. All right, as far as weather is concerned right now, we'll come back over to this monitor. Not a fairly tranquil start, not too bad going on as of right now. And we've got mold, fall elm, pigweed, ragweed, everything is on the low side as of right now. And throughout the rest of the morning, temperature is going to be basically steady, right around low, almost mid-70s. We've got some clouds out there right now, so that's going to act like a little bit of a blanket. But we are down closer to what you would expect this time of year, 72 being the normal low temperature. Going to make it up to 90 today at noon. We've got the graphic in there for a stray shower or a thunderstorm. One or two of them out there, even fewer and further between than yesterday. Again, most everybody's not going to be seeing rain today. We will, though, make it up to 98 for a high temperature, and then it's going to get even hotter as we go on into the next couple of days. I think we're going to be chalking up a couple of more triple digits around here. How about the weekend? Details in just a couple of minutes. Steph, Mark.
Thank you, Mike. San Antonio police say someone shot a woman in her East Side apartment while her child was in the home. This happened just hours ago in the 1500 block of Upland Road near East Houston Street.
Katrina Weber is there with a live report. And Katrina, do police know if that child witnessed the shooting?
Well, they told me they're not sure where the child was at the time of the shooting other than being in the apartment. We do know he was not hurt, and in fact, we've seen him walking around here in the parking lot. We want to be mindful not to show him in case that does happen again. But police are, it seems, wrapping up their investigation, their physical investigation here at the scene, but still don't have a whole lot of answers. What they do know is after 4 o'clock, the victim says that she was in her apartment when someone knocked on the door. She says she opened the door and then 2 or 3 women barged in, and one of them shot her in the stomach. Now, the woman who was shot is in her 20s. She was alert and talking, according to police, as she was placed in an ambulance and taken to a hospital. Police have been keeping watch over her son ever since. As they do investigate this crime, they've been talking to neighbors and also collecting physical evidence in the apartment. But as far as we know, they have not found the people responsible for this shooting here in the middle of the night. They do continue to monitor this area as they are trying to track down the shooter. Reporting live on the east side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. Lightning is believed to have caused a house fire on San Antonio's northwest side. Happened last night on Timber Crest, not far from Tezel and Grissom Roads. Fire could be seen shooting through the roof. More than a dozen firefighters were called out to put out the flames. Fortunately, no one was home at the time, so no one was hurt. It's estimated that lightning strike caused at least $150,000 worth of damage to the home.
Governor Greg Abbott is expected to sign an election overhaul bill into law today. The bill adds new restrictions and criminal penalties to the voting process in the state. Its passage follows a dramatic move by Democratic state lawmakers to delay the measure. Democrats say the bill is meant to benefit Republicans because the restrictions largely impact people who tend to vote for Democrats.
UNICEF and its partners have registered about 300 unaccompanied and separated children from Afghanistan since August 14th. That's according to the company's executive director. The children were separated from their families during the chaotic conditions in and around Hamid Karzai International Airport in Kabul during the mass evacuations last month. Some of the children were evacuated to Germany, Qatar, and other countries.
And a massive fire burning at a paint factory in Argentina. Crews there saying it was caused by an explosion of some sort. Firefighters confirmed that there were no deaths or injuries, but the business was engulfed in flames.
President Joe Biden will travel to New York and New Jersey today to see the aftermath of Hurricane Ida.
The death toll from the storm has now climbed to at least 69 across 8 states. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has the latest from Washington.
This morning, as Ida's death toll rises, President Biden is set to visit hard-hit New York and New Jersey to see the storm's devastation. The president approving disaster declarations in both states, freeing up federal funds to help with the massive cleanup effort.
The major disaster declaration means individuals are now eligible for money in those counties.
Communities still reeling after heartbreaking scenes like these. NYPD body camera footage shows officers unable to save a family in Queens from a flooding basement. In New Jersey, Richard Peak was stranded in rising floodwaters.
There goes a tree down the river, look at that.
His friend braving the storm.
I know that's him.
Coming to the rescue in a tractor.
I still don't feel like a hero. I just figured I'd help my friend out.
In New Orleans, another flash flood watch in effect, while power has been restored to 2/3 of the city. And the mayor is now blaming the archdiocese, which owns several senior living facilities in New Orleans, after 5 elderly residents died in what she calls deplorable conditions.
What we found was unacceptable, and accountability will be across the board.
As communities from the Gulf Coast to the Northeast look to rebuild homes and businesses, those reconstruction efforts could take a little bit more time and be more expensive because of supply and labor shortages from the pandemic. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
Back here at home, a first responder who served the city of Austin is being remembered right here in the Alamo City. Firefighter Rodney Kelly passed away after contracting the coronavirus while on the job. His funeral is set today for 12:30 at Coker United Methodist Church. Kelly spent 15 days on a ventilator before he passed away. He was with Austin Fire for 20 years. Last night, visitation was held at Porter Loring Mortuary here in San Antonio. Firefighters from both Austin and San Antonio were in attendance.
Kelly is one of several first responders who have recently died from COVID-19. Gonzales County Sheriff Robert Eklund passed away after battling the virus as well. The Fredericksburg native took the sheriff's post after retiring from the Texas Department of Public Safety. And just last week, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office announcing Deputy Ronald Butler also died after a battle with COVID-19.
Right now, 6:08, now to Michael K. Williams. His fans and fellow actors expressing shock at the news of his death. ABC's Andrew Dembert has more.
This morning, tributes pouring in after Michael K. Williams was found dead in his Brooklyn apartment.
You don't need to open this door, man, for a huff and puff.
No cause of death has been given for the actor, most famous for bringing the character of Omar Little to life on HBO's The Wire. But officials say drug paraphernalia was found around his body.
He was loved, always smiling, always happy, always dancing.
Williams received acclaim for his roles on Boardwalk Empire and last year's Lovecraft Country.
And you respect me! Get out of here!
But it was the role of Omar Little on The Wire that many called the greatest character in TV history. It was a groundbreaking role. Openly gay gangster wrapped up in the homophobic world of murder, drugs, and crime. Williams drawing on his own struggles with drugs and violence in portraying Omar, but telling our Dan Harris in 2008 that the character's success came as a surprise to him.
As you told me I would be successful for playing an openly gay thug on television, I couldn't have seen this coming in a million years.
Omar was meant to be killed off in the first season, but proved so popular he was kept on for all 5.
Omar's, by the way, my favorite character.
Overnight, the creator of The Wire, David Simon, writing, "Michael was a fine man and a rare talent, and on our journey together he always deserved the best words. And today, those words won't come." Ava DuVernay saying, "You were a flash of love, now gone, but never forgotten." And Spike Lee writing, "I'm shook." Michael K. Williams was 54. Andrew Dembert, ABC News, New York.
Now 6:10, 72 degrees.
And still ahead on GMSA, we are taking a look behind the kitchen door at some of the local restaurants who received perfect scores on their health inspection reports.
Outside with live cam, 72 degrees. Not too bad for the beginning of the work week for most of us. Hope you had a nice long weekend. Looking back towards downtown San Antonio, you are starting your day with GMSA.
And welcome back at 6:14. In your consumer news, stock markets around the world inching higher on hopes the Federal Reserve will delay the start of its tapering of easy money policies. Those hopes, pushed by last week's soft jobs report, show 235,000 jobs were created last month. Experts had been expecting more than 3 times that number. The surge of the Delta variant of the coronavirus is slowing the recovery for business travel. Delta Airlines, for example, had hoped business travel would be back to around 60% of the pre-pandemic levels by this month, but the CEO now says they'll miss that goal.
Time for a look behind the kitchen door. Perfect scores from around the Alamo City. New month, new scores, and here are some of the latest ones to get perfect scores. Trader Joe's out there on 1604 near Stone Oak at 403 North Loop 1604 West. Congratulations on acing your inspection. Moving along, we have also have La Madeleine. This is the one at I-10 West out there by Heber Oaks Shopping Center. Also on our list, Whataburger. This was at 4635 Riddeman Road. Good job, guys. Mia's Mexican Grill in the 11,000 block of Bandera Road joins our best of BKD list. And finally, we wrap up with Taco Cabana at 5115 Rigsby Avenue. If your place got a perfect score in the last couple of months, let me know. Send me an email at bkd@ksat.com. We will try to show them right here on GMSA. Congratulations again to all the restaurants that recently received perfect scores. It's tough to do during a pandemic, and especially while they are short-staffed.
Congrats. Let's go ahead and check in with Mike. I saw some problems on the roadways there at I-10 and the Huebner area.
Yeah, and it looks the same as it did about 10-15 minutes ago, and doesn't appear to be any sort of an accident. Maybe it's a little bit of leftover construction or some maintenance or something over there. Really can't see anything else, just those. It appears to be actually just the shoulder of the road. Elsewhere around town, everything is moving along fairly well. 1604 at Bandera, 281 at San Pedro. No problems there as well. The roads are dry. There were a couple little damp spots I saw coming into work this morning, just a low spot where there was some excess rain last night. But for the most part, things are dry this morning, so we shouldn't have any problems with that. As long as everybody just
takes it
both hands
easy
on the wheel and drives nice and smooth.
I saw a few puddles out there too. So back to work, back to school. Let's roll that school bus.
Yes, indeed. And temperatures this morning aren't bad. I mean, this is about normal. We're in the mid-lowish 70s, and 72 is the normal low temperature, mostly cloudy skies, and the humidity is okay. 98 high temperature. Now, of course, yesterday we did hit 100 right before those storms moved in over there at the airport. It's going to be hot again, obviously. We're going to be about 6 degrees above the average, the normal high temperature, which is 92, and 1 or 2 stray showers out there later on this afternoon. Most of us, again, like yesterday, won't see any rain. Probably even fewer of us are going to be seeing any rain later on today. Here's a view looking from our south cam over there around Brooks City Base, and nice view of the skyline with a couple of clouds hanging around here. Speaking of rain, here's over there, Yvonne Cherney. Got this one about just over a half an inch of rain came by on Westover Hills Boulevard over by SeaWorld. Some areas north of there up around Leon Springs, Helotes picked up about 2.5, 3 inches of rain. It all came down almost all at once with those storms that moved on through here. And here are some of the rainfall estimates off of radar. The majority was in the kind of northern half of our area, a lot in portions of the recharge zone. So that's good news because the aquifer has been dropping down fairly good chunk over the past, say, couple of weeks. And these rainfall amounts, the bullseyes or the heavy spots, 2.5, 3 inches of rain over there, just right around Medina Lake, maybe just south of there. About 3 inches of rain was estimated on radar. And then again, like I said, around Helotes as well as Leon Springs, anywhere from 2.5, 3.5 inches of rain. Right around downtown, just over an inch, almost an inch and a half of rain. But of course, out at the airport then, sort of missed out, and it was slightly less than 0.2 of an inch of rain yesterday. We will see a couple of more showers around the area today, very few and far between, like I said, and then after that, it's pretty much going to be about it throughout the rest of the week. No more rain chances, and as things continue to dry out, we get some pretty dry air moving on in here. Not only as the ground dries out, but drier air, that's going to allow temperatures to jump up. And by Sunday into Monday, looks like another chance at a few showers around here. So forecast today, we're going to make it up to 90 at noon, partly cloudy skies, and then a high temperature will make it up to 98. A stray shower or two, just 1 or 2 of them out there today. Most of us won't see rain. Then the next couple of days, especially again as the ground dries out and a lot lower humidity moves on in here, it's easier for the dry air to heat up. So we're going to be looking at some more triple-digit temperatures. I think yesterday we hit it for the first time this season, and then by the weekend, a few more clouds, lower temperatures, and another rain chance late Sunday into Monday.
Now we can cross the 100-degree thing off our list.
Yeah, we've done that already.
Because it gets so close, and it was so close, and so now it's finally happened. So
now we count down to September 22nd, first day of autumn.
Yep.
No triple digits there, hopefully. You never know.
Think back to 2005. Remember we had that week, about the third week, I think it was right after the equinox. About 102, 105 or so, about 4 or 5 records in a row.
I'm good. We don't need it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike. 620, about 72 degrees.
The NFL regular season kicks off this week, and the Houston Texans have officially named their starting quarterback. We're going to have the details after the break.
I don't just play someone brainy on TV. I'm an actual neuroscientist, and I love the science behind Nariva Plus. Unlike ordinary memory supplements, Nariva Plus fuels 6 key indicators of brain performance. More brain performance, yes please. Nariva, think bigger.
How do you think they make Starburst taste so juicy?
Starburst? Juice-Dradic equation. Super top secret mathematical formula they keep stored inside a safe, inside a vault, inside a volcano.
Oh, Juice-Dradics.
Starburst, unexplainably juicy.
Look closely at a wolf. You've seen him before. He's your dog. Wolves and dogs share many traits, like a desire for meat. That's why there's Blue Wilderness, made with the protein-rich meat your dog loves. Feed your dog's inner wolf with Blue Wilderness.
Find your rhythm, your happy place. Find your breaking point. Then break it. Every emergency gives you a potent blend of nutrients, so you can emerge your best with Emergency.
In this morning's GMA First Look, amusement park tragedy.
Dispatch patient will be a 6-year-old female, and she fell approximately 110 feet.
Authorities investigating how a 6-year-old girl on vacation with her family died while riding this attraction at a Colorado amusement park. The thrill ride opened 4 years ago, bringing national attention to this small family-owned park.
Going with caverns for a party that fell out of the shaft ride. The party's at the bottom of the shaft now. We're still trying to get further.
The little girl was riding the Haunted Mine Drop, a ride the park promotes as the world's first drop ride to go underground, dropping riders 110 feet and reaching 4 Gs of acceleration.
I believe the ride was in operation when the child fell from it.
Park employees began administering first aid until paramedics arrived, and we'll have more details coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Kaylee Hartung, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Another first for NASA's Perseverance rover. It's now collected the first Martian rock sample, a piece a little bit thicker than a pencil. It's being stored in an airtight titanium tube, which could be collected by another Martian lander in the future. Houston Texans head coach David Culley says Tyrod Taylor will be a starting QB when the Texans kick off their season against Jacksonville on Sunday. Deshaun Watson still on the roster, but has not played one preseason game while he's being investigated by the Houston Police Department. Week 1 of the NFL season finally here, and the Cowboys will have to be the first to step on the field in 2021 when they face the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa this Thursday night. They will be a bit shorthanded after it was announced on Sunday that All-Pro and Pro Bowl lineman Zach Martin will miss the season opener after testing positive for COVID-19. And now the fear is the team will lose more players to contact tracing. Back here at home, big game at our big game coverage this week. A battle of two early unbeatens, the McCollum Cowboys and Somerset Bulldogs. KSAT 12 Sports will be live at Bulldog Stadium at 5 p.m. on Friday. Kickoff is set for 7:30.
And time now is 6:25 and about 72 degrees out there. Still ahead on GMSA, President Biden surveying the left behind after Hurricane Ida. We're going to have the very latest.
And Katrina Weber staying on top of an overnight shooting. She will join us live with the very latest.
And taking a look outside with Trans Guide, there's a look at 281 and San Pedro. Things are moving right there on that highway. We're going to be checking in with Mike, who's doing traffic and weather today after the break.
San Antonio police say a woman opened the door to trouble. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. She told them she was shot by intruders in her home. I'll tell you more about it.
It's been nearly 20 years since the September 11th attacks. Now the alleged mastermind of the attacks will be joined by 4 co-defendants in the pre-trial court proceedings today.
Back here at home, our Labor Day ended on a stormy note. Do we have more storms in the forecast? For the remainder of the work week, we'll check in with Mike, who's pulling double duty in just a moment. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, and that would be September the 7th.
Happy Tuesday, and welcome back for those of you who had an extended weekend. I know we did, and most of that weekend was pretty hot.
Yes, and there was traffic out there. Mike, I know you're going to be handling both the forecast and traffic authority duties.
Yes, indeed. So we'll start off with traffic here. And as you can see over there at 281 at San Pedro, everything's moving along very nicely. A couple other spots in and around town. 90 at Nogalitos, no problems there. 35 at St. Mary's, 35 Division, and 1604 at Marbach. And over there at 10 at Huebner, let me see if I can get the right one popped up there. All right, we were watching that flare line earlier this morning, and some sort of it looks like maybe a maintenance vehicle off to the side of the road just there along the shoulder, but it's not causing any other issues there. Just kind of watch out for those lights, and looking around town, there's nothing else going on. So make sure you do drive carefully and take some sunglasses with you later on today. Forget the umbrella. That way, maybe you'll get some rain, or go get your car washed, one of the two, because that'll, always works out that way, Murphy's Law. Anyway, nice start this morning. We do have some clouds out there as of right now. 73 here in town, dew points at 70. So, yeah, it's humid, but it's tolerable humidity. Not much of a breeze as of right now. Mold, fall elm, pigweed, ragweed are all on the low side. And warm and humid, usual morning start for a summer morning. And partly cloudy skies, hot. Again, a couple of showers, a couple of thunderstorms are going to be popping up around the area. Most of us won't see rain. Rain chances are probably 20% or less than that. Then for the rest of the week, it's going to be very hot. However, we'll have lower humidity. In turn, though, that makes it easier for temperatures to really warm up. So I think we're looking at a few more triple-digit readings. Yes, we did hit it yesterday. A few more triple digits the next couple of days. And then by the weekend, a few more clouds around here, not as hot, and some rain chances by later on in the weekend. More on that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Steph, Mark.
Thank you, Mike. A woman undergoing surgery in a hospital for a gunshot wound she suffered overnight.
San Antonio police say someone barged into her apartment and shot her while her child was inside the home. The investigation has been going on in the 1500 block of Upland Road.
Katrina Weber is there with a live report. Katrina, is there an update on the woman?
Well, the last word we did have from police is that she was alert and talking when she left here in an ambulance, and that she was going to undergo surgery. That woman was shot in her stomach. As far as we know, her child was not hurt. And we've been out here since a little bit after 4:30 this morning. Let me give you a look at what we saw when we got here. There were police officers everywhere in this parking lot, also going in and out of that second floor apartment here at the Antioch Village Apartments. Police got called here a little bit after 4 o'clock this morning. They say that the woman inside that home, who's in her 20s, told them that she had heard a knock on her door. She opened the door, and then 2 or 3 women barged in. She says one of them shot her in the stomach. Now, police don't know if there's any kind of relationship between the woman who lives in the apartment and those who barged their way in. That is something they're still investigating. But again, that woman's son, young son, was inside the apartment when this happened. Police are not sure what, if anything, he saw, but they say he was not physically hurt. Now here, police are still trying to wait for CPS to come and take custody of the child. They've been watching him ever since, and also continuing to investigate here. We don't know yet if they have a description of those women. They have not shared anything with us, but the investigation does continue. Reporting live on the east side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Katrina, thank you. We now know the name of a man who was killed after police say he tried to rob 2 people at a northeast side apartment complex. That man identified as 20-year-old Cavante DeBrello, according to the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office. San Antonio police say DeBrello approached a couple in the 8600 block of Starcrest and held them at gunpoint. Officers say that couple was able to get the gun from DeBrello and shot him. He was later pronounced dead at the scene. Police continue to investigate.
San Antonio police are still sorting through the details of a deadly shooting. Police speaking with the father and son in the case. The shooting happened on Culebra Road between Bandera and General McMullen around 9 a.m. yesterday. Witnesses told investigators there was a fight in the area when someone pulled up in a vehicle before shooting. One man was shot 4 times and later died. That man's identity has not been released.
To the coronavirus right now in San Antonio, our COVID-19 positivity rate stands at 10.6%. Our 7-day average showed 1,100 cases per day, and a little more than 1,200 patients are in the hospital. We'll have an update on new COVID numbers in a briefing tonight during our 6 p.m. newscast.
And starting today, Sabinal ISD is closing one of their campuses because of a rise in COVID cases and quarantined staff. The high school principal says the secondary campus will be closed for in-person classes until Friday. That includes the junior high and high school. During that time, students will participate through synchronous virtual learning. The secondary campus will return to normal operations on Monday. Sabinal Elementary campus will continue to remain open this week.
Vaccine pop-up clinics are starting back up today in San Antonio after taking a break on Labor Day. We have a full list on KSAT.com. You can also sign up for a free shot with your local pharmacy. 6:36 right now. Communities from the Gulf Coast all the way up to the Northeast still reeling from the impact of Hurricane Ida and its remnants.
President Biden traveled south last week, visiting Louisiana to examine the destruction there. Today, he heads north, touring the devastation in New York and New Jersey. CNN's Reed Binion reports.
President Joe Biden on Tuesday set to tour the devastation that Hurricane Ida's remnants left in the Northeast. The president visiting hard-hit communities in New York and New Jersey after having signed major disaster declarations for parts of those states. Biden approved federal disaster relief for 5 New York counties and 6 in New Jersey to help families and businesses repair and rebuild. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy says he plans to ask the president to provide federal disaster relief to more counties.
Yet there were 15 other counties in New Jersey, and we're in there fighting on behalf of any of those other counties that were impacted.
The president's Tuesday trip will come a day after the head of FEMA also toured the destruction in the Northeast.
Hurricane Ida, she spread destruction across 9 states and 5 regions, and it ended right here. And what we saw today was absolutely heartbreaking, the amount of damage and destruction that these families have experienced.
Also surveying the damage in New York Monday were Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Senator Chuck Schumer, both of whom represent New York.
This is a personal disaster, a major disaster, and we need the insurance companies to join with the federal, city, and state governments.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
In Florida, a man accused of killing 4 people, including an infant and its mother, being held in jail without bond. Officials say 33-year-old Brian Riley is facing 4 counts of first-degree murder and several other charges. During the shootings, deputies say he wore full body armor and engaged in a firefight with law enforcement who responded to that scene. Riley surrendered after being wounded by deputies. The only survivor in the mass shooting is an 11-year-old girl. Investigators say Riley is a former Marine sharpshooter who served in Iraq and Afghanistan before being honorably discharged. He had no known connection to the victims.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken set to testify before a Senate committee about the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. According to the Senate Foreign Relations Committee's website, Blinken will appear before the committee on Tuesday, September 14th. Blinken is the only witness currently scheduled for the hearing. The U.S. has drawn international criticism over the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan, and still, the U.S.'s work there is not over. The White House says there are still roughly 100 U.S. citizens in Afghanistan, and there are still efforts underway to get them out.
One of the 13 U.S. service members killed during the withdrawal from Afghanistan is South Texas native and Marine Lance Corporal David Lee Espinosa. The 20-year-old is from Laredo. He will lie in state at the Joe Jackson North Funeral Chapels in Laredo from 8 a.m. to midnight on Sunday. A funeral mass will take place the next day on September 13th.
Now to the case against the man who is the mastermind of the 9/11 terrorist attacks, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed.
A crucial hearing is about to resume in what's being called the longest prosecution in U.S. history. But before the trial begins, some important decisions must be made. ABC's Mona Kassar Abdi has the details.
This morning, as the nation prepares to mourn 20 years since the September 11th attacks, the 5 men believed to have plotted the attacks have yet to stand trial. Among them, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the man described as the principal architect of the 9/11 attacks. He's being tried in a death penalty case along with his nephew and 3 other alleged facilitators.
These are dangerous men with unparalleled knowledge about terrorist networks.
Yesterday marked 15 years since President George W. Bush announced the men's transfer, along with other suspected al-Qaeda members, to the Guantanamo Bay detention facility in Cuba, also known as Gitmo.
It has been necessary to move these individuals to an environment where they can be held secretly, questioned by experts, and when appropriate, prosecuted for terrorist acts.
Today, a pretrial hearing resumes at a specially built courtroom inside Gitmo to determine what evidence the U.S. government must provide to the defense and which laws actually apply in the special court. ABC's Shannon Crawford is there.
This is a war court.
However, the Supreme Court has determined that these defendants will get similar protections that they would have if they were being tried in the United States.
Of particular interest are the confessions made by the defendants to the FBI after they were transferred to Gitmo and subjected to so-called enhanced interrogation techniques, including waterboarding, considered by many to be torture. The defense team is seeking to throw out those confessions.
Their lawyers here are arguing that what they said there is inadmissible and what they said in Guantanamo is inadmissible because they were already conditioned to tell their interrogators just what they wanted to hear.
Mona Kosar Abdi, ABC News, New York.
Tuesday morning, 6:41, about 73 degrees.
Still ahead on GMSA, some things to consider if you're thinking about making a career change. And welcome back at 6:44. Are you considering making a career change? Jobs are plentiful and Americans are quitting old jobs for new ones at a record pace in recent months.
But is now the time for you to make the switch? Max Massey has more.
USA Today recently looked at 6 questions to ask yourself if you're thinking of making a career change. For starters, can you handle a disruption in pay? There will likely be a lag time in between your last check from your former employee and the first one from your new place of business. You'll want to check any savings you have to make sure you can cover your expenses during that gap in income. Also, are you aware of any tax implications changing jobs could have on you? If you're about to get an increase in pay, evaluate your withholding choices. And making a job change can often bring about changes in not only income, but also spending as well. That means you're going to want to reevaluate your budget. Make sure you know just how your new employer will cost you, and make sure you know just how much your benefits program at the new employer will cost you per paycheck. That'll also affect your take-home pay.
Finally, think about what to do with your 401k from your old employer. You'll have choices from rolling it into an IRA to leaving it at your former employer as well. Just make sure you weigh all your options. Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
Tinder has relaunched work mode in anticipation of workers returning to the office. It allows users to search for a partner without colleagues or the boss finding out. But remember, work mode does not hide Tinder from the software that companies use to monitor activity.
Time to check traffic and weather with one guy this morning.
Mike Osterhage pulling double duty this morning.
Got a incident that has cropped up here at 35 at Division, and I apologize, I'm not sure which direction this is facing, but there is that 18-wheeler off to the side of the road there. It looks like it is blocking at least one lane of traffic, and emergency vehicles are on the scene over there. Also, still got this going on over at 10 at Huebner, and it appears to be maintenance, I think, because some vehicles have been coming and going with lights on, and they've got that flare line set up over there. Elsewhere around town, everything's looking pretty good. 281 at San Pedro, no problems there. Same thing, 90 at Nogalitos. Hopefully you have a smooth commute into work and school this morning. As far as the weather, it is going to be another highly installed vehicle right there at 90 at Nogalitos, but that's well off to the side of the road. All right, weather. It was stormy yesterday. Hi, you guys. Hi. Yeah. You guys are on again.
Forgot about this part.
Hi.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's when they put the little double boxes up here and stuff like that.
Yes.
Look at me.
Look at you.
We can't. Well, no, we can't.
Look that way. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hi, Ralph. Weird. I mean, hi, Mike.
Hi. We do it like this.
Does it look correct that way?
We had some pretty good thunderstorms yesterday, and Mr. McClellan over there at Woodlawn Lake area, where it picked up a bunch of rain, and boy, it was a light show. Yeah, it was really, those thunderstorms there for a while, really dumping up a whole bunch of rain, especially around, say, Helotes, as well as Leon Springs in the metropolitan area. About 2.5, close to 3.5 inches of rain fell in roughly an hour when those storms moved on through. Right now, we've got some clouds out there, 73 degrees. The average normal low is 72, so we're just about in the ballpark. 74 Canyon Lake, 76 right now at Stinson, and the humidity is okay. You know, it's summertime humidity out there, not anything too awfully high. Throughout the day, some folks will see a bit of a drop in the humidity. I think some's going to be sticking around here in town. I don't know, this computer model has us at 76 for a dew point later on today, which is a little bit on the high side, but it's not really going to be dropping down all that much this afternoon. That, with some moisture in the ground, is going to help to keep temperatures just shy of 100. We did hit it, of course, yesterday. Then tomorrow, in the afternoon, we're really going to get some dry air coming on in here. And so what that will do, it's going to be very comfortable in the shade, especially, but dry air heats up a lot more easily. So therefore, we are going to be getting up to triple digits again tomorrow, as well as on Thursday, really close to it on Friday as well. Rain chances today. Not really great, if at all. 1 or 2 little stray showers around here, and that's pretty much going to be about it. We will keep a few more clouds hanging around here, though. Quick check in the tropics, and again, there is Hurricane Larry out there in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It is just almost a classic, picture perfect, nice, well-defined eye to it, very circular in shape. And then in the Bay of Campeche, the Hurricane Center is still watching a disturbance which it thinks is going to get going here. However, it's going to get caught up in the upper level winds and taken over there toward Florida. So that's not going to have any effect on our weather. By next week, there may be another low trying to form up and give us a rain chance around here. But between now and then, that's going to be it as far as rain chances, other than that stray shower today. That high is going to continue to take over. And we've got this somewhat northerly flow, so that'll keep things dry. But again, dry air heats up a lot more easily, and that thing's virtually sitting on top of us. And so that's why the next few days is just going to be hot and sunny. After today, a couple of extra clouds around here today. 90 at noon, partly cloudy skies, and then a high temperature will make it up to 98. Still, we're going to be, even though it doesn't touch 100, we're still going to be 6 degrees above the average, the normal high temperature. And then the next few days, plenty of sunshine, lower humidity, and it's going to be scorching out there. 100. Again, with that lower humidity, more comfortable in the shade, but you get out in that direct sun and just add 15 degrees to the temperature is what it feels like, because the sun is you're not only feeling the air temperature, but the sun's heating you up. Although your body can cool itself more efficiently, obviously, with that lower humidity.
Yeah, and better if you can find the shade.
Yeah.
Or stay inside, I guess.
Yes, because you got the air conditioning.
Yes. Thanks, Mike.
Right now it's 6:50, about 73 degrees.
From the world of graffiti to being a widely accepted muralist, I'm Katrina Weber. I'll introduce you to that artist tomorrow on GMSA.
And taking a look outside with live cam, we're at 73 degrees. And as Mike said earlier, prepare for the heat this week. We'll be right back.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, as millions of Americans go back to work and back to school, there are fears about another surge in COVID cases after the busy holiday weekend of travel. Some hospitals already at the breaking point. We're going to get into all parts of that story right here on GMA.
San Antonio police say someone knocked on the door of an apartment here to deliver trouble to one woman. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. That woman was shot after opening her door. Police say it was an intruder who shot her. Now, they say the woman called them here to the 1500 block of Upland Road shortly after 4 o'clock this morning. They found the woman in a second-floor apartment at Antioch Village, suffering from a gunshot wound in her stomach. Police say she was alert and talking as she was loaded into an ambulance. She told them someone knocked on her door, then 2 or 3 women barged in and shot her. Police say they also found out that the woman's young son was in the home when this happened. They're not sure how much he saw, but he was not physically hurt, and police have been taking care of him ever since. Now, the last we heard, that woman who's in her 20s was alert and talking as she was loaded into the ambulance, and police say that she did undergo surgery. They're still looking for the shooters. Reporting from the east side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Well, as traffic's starting to pick up now over there at 10 at Huebner, looks like the right-hand lane is blocked off. Don't know if that's some sort of a breakdown or just maintenance vehicles out there. But as you can see, the 2 right-hand lanes are having to merge, and so that is slowing things down out there again at 10 at Huebner. 35 St. Mary's, everything's moving along very well. And then we still have that stalled 18-wheeler over there, 35 at Division. And traffic is a little bit slow going over there. Elsewhere around town, everything's moving along fairly well. We've got some clouds hanging around here this morning after that rain that we had yesterday, and temperatures are close to where they should be, 73 right now, a high today of 98.
All right, good job pulling double duty today, Mike.
You're too kind.
Have a great day, guys. We'll see you back here at 9.